Hi there, I'm Terry and this is 5 Minute Velo. I've just come back from a ride, so I may look a bit dishevelled today, although my wife said she can't tell the difference. Today I'm going to tackle that most difficult question: how many bikes is enough bikes? At my high point, or is it a low point, I had a lot of bikes. I had a touring bike, a carbon fibre road bike, a hack bike for going to and from work, a mountain bike, a fixed wheel bike, and enough parts to build several more bikes. Oh, and I forgot, I also have a tandem. Now, I don't know, is that 1 or 2 bikes? Anyway, I had a lot of bikes. Despite having a lot of bikes, somehow they weren't quite right. So there was always room for another bike that filled a gap between the other bikes. And that's how I managed to own so many bikes. Of course, the prevailing philosophy is that there's no such thing as too many bikes. Indeed, this simple formula seems to prevail. N equals N plus 1, where capital N is the optimum number of bikes one should own, and lowercase n is the current number of bikes one owns. This simple equation controlled my bike ownership, and that's why the number of bikes I owned spiraled out of control. Well, maybe it wasn't out of control, it was in control, but I'm sure that's what most addicts say. However, I'm getting older, but as I get older, my needs, or wants I should say, change. For instance, I've retired from work, so I no longer need a hack bike to ride to and from work. And I'm recovering from a fairly serious illness, which causes me problems, particularly for riding off-road. And indeed, over the last few years, I've slowly been consolidating the number of bikes that I have and selling off the pieces of equipment that I have lying around. At the moment, I have just 2 bikes. The giant carbon composite that you can see behind me, and also a touring bike that you've seen in some of my other videos. There's new bike technology that's coming along. This can make the bikes that I may own in the future actually more flexible and adaptable. And finally, and you can see a video to it up here, my own testing has shown there's not that much difference between the performance of my carbon road bike that you can see behind me and my relatively heavyweight touring bike. After all, I'm the biggest part of the bike and rider combination, so any changes to the bike are going to have a relatively small effect. Well, the upshot of this is I need or want less bikes. But can I get away with just 1 bike? And this is the first in a series of videos that will be examining that question. Not only examining it, but I'll be testing it out. And I'm going to do that by, you guessed it, buying a new bike. What I want to know is this the one? Hopefully, in a few months' time, I'll have answered that question. One thing for certain though, I'll be looking for great value, which usually means going for either obscure or non-branded items, although not exclusively, as you'll see. In the next video in this series, I'll go through my thoughts on how I'm going to try and meet that challenge of owning just 1 bike that does everything I need. Indeed, if you look in the corner there, you'll see a bunch of boxes. Those boxes contain some of the parts that I've ordered. In a future video, I'll unbox those parts so you can see what I bought. Well, if you want to follow me in this journey, please subscribe and click on the bell icon to get notifications of future videos. Also, it'll help if you click on the like button to show you appreciate these videos, or leave comments to ask questions or clarify things that I may have missed. From me, for now, it's goodbye. Oh, irony of irony. Of course, exploring that 1 bike solution means I have to buy another bike. Perhaps it's harder to break that fundamental law of n equals n plus 1 than I thought.